everybody. Welcome back to Black Female Landscape and Nature Photographers. Focus on Black men and landscape. And with us today, we have Simmie Reagor right with us. Yay! Hey, Simmie.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm much better now. Because
always great when we get to talk landscape, huh?
The famous Angela found me.
Oh my goodness, stop the madness. That would be our co-founder, Keisha, who has done that one.
But I will credit both of you.
Well, thank you. We totally appreciate you and being available to let us interview you today. So, let us go ahead and kind of dive right in. Let's talk about you. Tell us, about you, where you're from, where you at. Let's start off with that.
Oh, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised there for 12 years. And then we've lived upstate New York for a few years, then Rhode Island. And now for the last 38 years, I've been in Connecticut.
Wow. So how Chicago to Connecticut? How did
family moved.
Okay.
Family moved around a lot. So
all right.
Wound up in Connecticut. Don't ask me how.
Okay, well, that's fine. And with you being in Connecticut there for 38 years, right?
Yep. So I'm a native now.
Yeah. I would say 38 years would make you a native.
Yeah.
So with all this moving, when did your photography begin?
Seriously, it started in about 2007.
Okay.
I'm not the typical. Always had a camera, since I was born. I did have cameras when I was young, but they were like throwaway cameras, old film cameras that, no name film cameras, and or the Instamatics that you would come out and, a picture would come out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I just took pictures of family and just random stuff. Nothing serious. Never. And then as I got older, probably in my teens, point and shoots started to come out.
Okay.
And I had those for a while, but again, I didn't take anything seriously. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until 2007 is when I started to take it more seriously. And then 2014 is when I bought my first DSLR. So
what happened in 2007 that you're like, I think I want to be serious with this?
Well, it was at a wedding.
Okay, it was one of those people situations. Okay, let's hear about this.
My wife's cousin, who is a photographer in the Navy, mm-hmm. she was up to photograph my sister-in-law's wedding. And she brought two of her professional grade cameras, and she heard that I was taking pictures with my little point and shoot, but I was being more serious. So she showed me one of her cameras, and she was going to let me take photographs with her, just mm-hmm. extra shots. I'm sure they didn't use any of them.
They were like, okay.
But that was the first time that I got a camera that, you could change the settings. They had different lenses. You could actually manipulate things in order to capture an image better than, just pointing and shooting at something. You had to put some thought into it.
Right.
And
so nothing like just putting you on the spot with a DSLR at a wedding.
Yeah. Okay. But like I said, I was there in case probably disaster happened.
And this was your first time really with a DSLR?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
And then after that, I kind of got the bug, but I didn't get a DSLR yet. I started with something like this little thing. I still have it.
Wait a minute, which one? Oh, that's a Sony?
Yeah, it's above a point and shoot, but not much better. But it had more controls than your typical point and shoot.
Right.
And so I started shooting with that. I started shooting, people, architecture, just street stuff. I shot everything.
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to the coast, because around the same time I think I had changed jobs.
So
And
as in the Pacific coast or the Atlantic?
well, it's the Atlantic coast. Here,
Oh,
Connecticut is not really the coast.
no, like
It's Long Island Sound.
okay, pretty.
But I have access to like Rhode Island and Massachusetts. I
Yeah,
can
really pretty
and Maine.
locations. Mhm.
Yeah, those are pretty locations. But and the landscape is where I felt the best. It's where I felt
Why is
centered.
that?
I don't know. It's just something. It's something about it. When I'm in the landscape, I just feel grounded. I feel like everything that's going on in the world just melts away, and it's just me and nature.
Yeah.
And it's just a great feeling. And
So
luckily enough, I got a camera. I want to take some pictures and capture that whatever is catches my attention.
so you went from the Sony that you just showed to a
Yes.
DSLR.
Yes, I did.
Which was the brand DSLR that you selected?
Oh, it was a Nikon D7000.
Okay. All right, it's Nikon.
Sorry, it wasn't a Canon.
Well, it wasn't a Sony either, so that's, but you started out with the little Sony. But okay, so you with your Nikon and you're out in landscape and you're in nature and you're feeling so connected. Share a little bit more as far as like what was like, capturing your eye and from there.
Well, in the beginning, it was everything. It was hard to just nail anything down. You would just be excited about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And excited to see the sun come up, excited to see shadows, birds, and so I took a lot of pictures in the beginning.
Okay.
And I'd say some of them were good, but not all of them were intentional. It was just like rapid fire. and then I started to slow down, appreciate stuff, and now when I go out, it's a whole different attitude now with me now. But back then, it was just, I would see a particular tree. I love trees. Okay. And then would take pictures of trees. And then, like I said, water. For some reason, I have an affinity towards water. Most of my shots have water in them.
Kind of like your backdrop right now.
Yes. It's not on purpose, I don't think. It's subconscious.
Okay. So you're drawn to trees and water.
I'm drawn to trees and water.
So tell us about from the time where you got your first Nikon and you were just taking pictures of everything to how you got to be more focused. What was that, that transition like? Was it that you started to learn more about your camera, or, share that with us?
Well, honestly, the first thing I did was learn my camera before I even started taking pictures.
Some people just get a new camera and just like, I don't know how to use it. I'm just gonna keep it on program.
I went from the first part of that menu from A all the way to Z and did every setting until I understood each one. Nice. And once I did that, then I went out and took pictures. And I just started working on and learning more about composition and light and composition. That's what I've been focusing on. And then you just hone it and hone your skill until you get to that where it's just distilled, where you find that subject that sparks your interest, and then you try to show that in the best light possible, the best angle, the best light, and try to showcase that the best way possible. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And with you learning light and composition, a lot of people say, when photographers, and with you and your background, with the point and shoot, and then this Sony camera, and then the Nikon camera, given your experience with the various cameras, people often say, you know, when they're looking at pictures, what camera, what camera? Because it's like, you know, it has to be the camera that I guess is a robot and is taking the pictures, and we just hold it so that we can have that type of height, you know. But as far as your opinion, how do you handle when people say, is it the camera or the photographer?
Oh, I tell them all the time, the Nikon makes me a better photographer. I just throw it up in the air and it takes pictures. No, seriously, it's the photographer. It's the photographer. It's you and your skill and what you see and how you intentionally you know, set up the scene the way that you want it to be set up and how you want the viewer to see your picture. And the camera is just there. I mean, a better camera, it's a better tool, but that's all it is. It's a tool.
Exactly. And yeah, a lot of people just think it's the camera. And like you said, you just throw it up and it takes pictures. And you're like, yeah, that's what it does. Watch. Anywho, so with this tool, what was the image when, you know, through the transition that you made, you know, from your cameras to, you know, being more intentional with your images? What was that one image that you took and you were like, bam, this is what I am talking about right here?
I would probably say it was a picture of a sunflower field, and it was one lone red sunflower or red petal sunflower standing out against the other golden ones.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Where was that at?
Oh, it's a little lime and orchards. They have a little sunflower. In fact, a lot of farms do it during the fall season. They'll plant sunflowers, and of course, it's mobbed with people. But this particular year, I got there before anybody else got there, and I just that was my first shot where I was like, yes, this is what I want to do.
So how you saw it and how you were able to capture it, it was just like, yeah, this is exactly how I saw it.
Yeah, and that one sunflower just standing alone out, you know, against the rest of them. Sure thing.
Now, with your photography and your expertise in it now, what would you say was the hardest part about photography?
The hardest part, I would say, the hardest part is probably me.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, outside of the fact that I always forget one thing every time I go out. It's always one thing that I always forget. Doesn't matter what it is. I always, and then I get on site and I'm like, I forgot my trigger release, or I forgot something else. But in all honesty, the hardest thing in photography for me is to temper my expectations.
Okay.
That's the hardest thing, and a good reason why I don't plan as much as I used to.
So you just go with the flow?
I go with the flow. I get there, and whatever Mother Nature has for me, I am grateful for what I get.
I like that. Yeah, because a lot of photographers is like they're chasing the perfect conditions, and they'll get to a spot and it's like, oh, it's cloudy, it's so ugly. I just drove an hour and this is all I have.
Now,
And
that changed for me when a group of us went to Arcadia National Park.
okay.
And I was just happy to be going, because the first time I went to Arcadia with the wife, I wasn't a photographer. And then the photographs that I took were just, they were bad. So I was just happy. I was going back with a real camera and with real purpose, and now knowing what I know, and I was like, I'm gonna, we're gonna have a good time. And it was fun. We just our little road trips that we go on. They're fun. And everybody else was like, oh, we're gonna get up, we're gonna catch the sunrise, we're gonna put the drone up, we're gonna do all this stuff. And we got there, and we were there for 3 days. And every day we got up, it looked good, and as soon as we go out, fog would roll in. Every day there would be nothing but fog. And everybody they were pitching a fit every day. They were like, oh, this fog, it sucks.
So we don't want to do moody. We want perfect.
And I was in heaven. I was in heaven. The fog, I just love. I love moody fog. I love mystery conditions. I just love, and those are rare. Those are rare days when you get those. So we got 3 days of it. And I was in heaven.
Well, everybody else was upset.
Everybody was upset. They weren't going to get there. They wanted to do some astrophotography. That wasn't happening. They wanted to do some sunrises. That wasn't happening. Even sunset got ruined. Every time we go, the fog would come in. And we blamed it on one guy because we went on another trip and he was with us. And when we were with him, the fog would roll in. So
we don't leave you at home. You can bring all the fog.
But that's when I stopped having or having expectations of, these grand ideas in my head, because those are always perfect in your head, and you'll never get that. You'll never get perfect. So I just go to.
You just made the best of the situation. You learn to do that.
Exactly.
So when it comes to landscape and nature photography, I know earlier you have mentioned as far as how you feel when you're out in nature. So, step us through as far as how has your experience in nature, how has it affected, or I don't want to say so much as affected, but how has it contributed to the man that you are today?
I think that nature photography, landscape, has made me a more present person. I am more present in everything now. It also made me a less grumpy person.
Your wife's like, just go outside. Here's some more SD cards. See you
exactly. And if I don't get out in the field every once in a while, like if I'm deprived of that, I will get a little grumpy now. But I don't take days for granted anymore. There was a long period of time where I did not. Nature, that was something you saw on TV. That's what other people do. They go camping, they go out. That kind of stuff. I didn't do that stuff. But and I got a little taste of it when we were in upstate New York.
A taste of camping?
Yeah, camping, outdoors, fishing, because we lived right outside Rochester, New York. Not even 15, 20 minutes in the little one hick town. It was like you go from city, next thing you know, you're in the boondocks. Okay. And I remember going to biology class, and we would just go out in the field for biology class. And that was my 4 years of first little taste of nature, and then boom, back to the suburbs, back to just daily grind. And then of course, you do your work, and everyday life just kind of grinds to you. And then lo and behold, I rediscovered nature.
Nice.
And I'm happy for it.
Oh yeah. It has a way of affecting us in such beautiful ways. Yeah. And you mentioned that now have you done camping, where one of those photography trips where you're camping and you're up for sunrise, you get some astro at night, up early because you camped and you're right there? Has that hit you yet?
No camping recently. There is a possibility that maybe I'll get one of those camper vans or something, and I'll do that. Yeah, but not in the cars right now. But the kind of camping I do now is car camping. If I have to get somewhere and I don't want to drive that far, I'll just sleep in the car.
Right. Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna set up any of that stuff. Yeah. Does your wife take pictures as well?
No. Nope.
Okay. Send her our way, please.
And I tell her, come on, let's go. It's just, I am not getting up at 4 a.m.
She's like, no, I left some more SD cards for you on the counter.
She's like,
If money,
I will just enjoy the pictures. You go take them. I'll enjoy them.
yeah, a lot of people, when it comes to us being out and they hear that sunrise and it's like 4 a.m, why you gotta get up so early? The sun doesn't come up until, let's say, 5:30. It's like, because you want to see the sun rise.
Exactly. Exactly.
If money wasn't an issue, where would you go with your camera?
Just one place or several places?
Hey, you gotta check. Where are you going?
Well, first place I'm going is New Zealand.
Oh.
Then the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
Then British Columbia.
Why New Zealand?
Then over to Japan, and then South America. All in that order.
So why New Zealand first?
That's just a magical looking place. I just want to go there. That just looks like it's no place I've ever seen before. Mm-hmm. It is like, that's why they chose Lord of the Rings to shoot there, because it's just doesn't look like any place on earth. So right. It is. I want to go there first. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So through your photography, have you traveled to some places that you have been on your list and you captured your images there?
I've gone to places in New York, okay, and Maine, mm-hmm, and I've been down to Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Went to a conference down in South Carolina. That's about it. I have to get back to back over to the West Coast and to some of the national parks that are out west, because I haven't been to Zion since I proposed to the wife. That's the last time we were in Zion. And the Grand Canyon, I'd like to go back there, and Yellowstone again as a photographer. Before I was just a tourist.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? When you're looking back at, oh, our pictures are cute. Like, no, if only I would have had my DSLR for that.
Yeah, yeah.
During the last 2 years, we already know what the world was going through. But for you, how did the pandemic affect you, if it did, for your photography?
I know this is going to sound bad, but we can have another 2 years of the pandemic.
It doesn't sound bad. I'm laughing because every landscape photographer was like, can we get a do-over? Can we get a do-over?
I would go to places and there'd be nobody. I'd have the whole place to myself. I'd be like, yes, this is awesome, especially at sunset. At sunset, there's nobody. But now it's back to normal. Everybody's doing a little selfie, right in front of your camera while you're trying to take a picture. They're doing a selfie. It's like,
do you get that too? Where like when you get to a spot, hardly anyone is around, and the moment you set up your camera and your tripod, everybody wants to jump in front with with a cell phone.
Exactly. And it doesn't even faze me anymore, because I just shoot around them. I just, as long as they move, you got to move. If you move, you're fine. I can work you out if you move around. But if you're just gonna stand there.
You're nice. I give them 5 seconds. It's like, you saw me. I'm not invisible. If you don't move out the way, just move. I don't want you in my pictures. I don't feel like photoshopping you out. This is not that type of thing. But yeah, so you're back to people and their cell phones and selfies.
That's why I prefer mornings. Because mornings, most people are too lazy to get up anyway. So it was just me and maybe an occasional fisherman will be out, and that's it. I can deal with the fisherman. I can actually work him into the shot sometimes. So that's good. Mm-hmm.
How would you describe your style?
I don't know. My style, My style is vibrant,
Mhm.
moody, sometimes dark, sometimes depressing, but always interesting.
Oh.
It changes it changes with me. I kind because sometimes I shoot and it'll be one way, and another time I'll shoot, it'll be something totally different. And people, I don't know what style that is. People tend to know that that's my picture, but I look at it and they're totally different from each other. But it depends on my mood. When
Mhm.
what I find and what I shoot. Like today, I'm looking out right now. It's actually trying to snow. So this would have been a good time to go out. But
What are we doing out here in San Diego?
old man winter's trying to hang on for a few more weeks.
Woo.
So
Mm.
today is a mix of rain, sleet, back to rain. It's not going to stick because it's near 40. So
So when it comes to weather, it doesn't matter to you, right? You can go
uh,
out.
I'll go out. The moodier, the better. If it's bad weather, I'm out. I'm out in the weather. That's where I feel most alive, when stuff's going on around me and it's all dramatic.
Mhm.
And I'm calm and collected, just looking for things. Yes.
Now,
The other morning, I wrote about it on my blog. Um, I went to a new spot,
mhm.
and usually at a new spot, I don't take many pictures because it's a new spot. I'm just kind of scouting. But I got there, it was like 18 degrees. It was just typical here. And I'm looking around in the dark, looking for, different angles and different what I think will look good once the light starts coming up. And as soon as the light started to get good, I was just in a flow state. I just went from spot to spot to spot to spot, and it felt so good after I was done.
Mhm.
I was in the zone that day. It just zenned out.
And once you're done shooting, do you come home? Are you disciplined enough to come home and upload your images into files, or do you just like, I'll get to it later?
No, I will upload them to the computer, but I won't look at them right away.
Okay.
Usually I'll wait a day or two, and then I'll start looking through and seeing which ones will get worked on, which ones I won't work on, maybe save for later or some other project.
Mhm.
And I go through them that way. But yeah.
Now I'm gonna jump into a fun question here. What has been your most challenging shoot? And don't say the wedding. It has to do with being outside.
Yeah, I know. Being outside, most challenging shoot. Oh man. I'm trying to think what has been the most challenging shoot. So I always get something. I always get something.
Well, maybe it might have been one where you're like, okay, how long do I have to hike? How high am I going? Or how long do I have to drive?
No, I don't mind that one.
Okay.
Oh, well,
They've all been easy.
not easy. Not easy. But I always figure out a way to get something.
Okay. So
Because
has there been a shoot that you really had to work to get? No.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah. There was one, and it was when I was in my phase where I was planning to get something, and I didn't know where I was going. That was the first problem.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Finally found the place. It was in Rhode Island. It's
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's called, some observatory,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my first time doing an astro shoot.
Okay.
I wasn't even sure where the Milky Way was. I was I was I was just winging it because there was an observatory there, and there were some other people there too. And at least I brought my headlamp,
Okay.
so I had that. And I had a little red thing, so I could kind of see. and people were driving in and out, just irresponsible with their headlights on, messing up everybody's shot.
Right.
But I had the darndest time trying to focus, because I didn't get there early enough to to maybe focus on anything. Wasn't even sure I could get a foreground element in there. Luckily, the car lights kind of helped out with that, and I did get a picture. It's not the best astro picture. You don't get a lot of good astro pictures here where I'm at, but it worked out. But that was a rough time, and I was like, oh, if I'm going to do astro again, I'm going to have to plan for this one. This is one you have to plan for. You have to plan for. You have to know what you want to be in your foreground, where the Milky Way is going to be. Yeah. So my next one will be better.
Okay, good. What are your 2022 photography goals?
Start traveling more. It's been 2 years of just being in this little area here, local, and but I love to shoot local. I think it's good to shoot local. I think it's very good to shoot local. But I want to get to some places. I'll probably get to Pacific Northwest before I get to New Zealand. I know a couple of people out that way, so hopefully this year I will be out that way. And then I wanted to maybe start doing some more conferences again. Meeting up with some people who have like-minded stuff. I don't know if you guys are doing a conference. I'd love to come out and meet with you guys.
It's on our planning. Well, it's on our, I don't want to say planning, but it's on the list of ideas.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit or the joy that we're having, meeting more and more photographers, so that we can, possibly have a conference sooner than later. It won't happen this year,
right,
because of all this other stuff. But yeah. So what conference had you attended, like a landscape photography conference, or was this like one based off on people and things?
The one down in South Carolina was a combination one. They had landscape photography, but they also had people there instructing for portraiture and nighttime photography. It was pretty cool. That was the first one I had been to that was that far away.
Okay.
Then we have, of course, the New England has their own little NECCC conference, which is an instructional one. Okay. I think their last one is this year, though. This is the last one in person.
Oh, so they're going virtual after this?
I believe they're going virtual after this. I think they said nobody was going to be able to chair after this particular one, so this will be the last in-person one. They have it in Massachusetts every year, except for the last 2 years because of COVID. But this will be their last. This will be their last one this year, as far as that's what they've said, unless they change their mind.
Yeah, I think at this time, after 2 years, a lot of people are, except for like something like this, like, do we have to go to another virtual conference? Like, a little interacting, some human element. Oh my gosh, you do smile. Oh my gosh, hey, hi. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
I digress.
I'm also with a local camera club, and we've been doing our meetings virtually. So yeah, people are getting antsy. They want to meet in person again. So
he had a blast, but I'll say that for another conversation. Let's talk about your bag. Aside from your camera gear, aside from your camera and your tripod, what are the things? Well, I guess you did mention earlier that sometimes you forget to have certain things in your bag, but what do you try and make sure that you have in your bag?
I always have my headlamp. That's always, I got 3 headlamps. So even if one's in the car, one's in the bag, and one's around the house. So
okay, good.
I usually never forget that one. There's always one that's in the bag. I have a pair of biking gloves that I take with me that I keep in the bag as well.
Mhm.
And I usually keep those because there's a lot of brush around here with thorns in it. So yeah,
Hmm.
it stops me from getting all scratched up when I'm hiking in the woods.
Yeah.
off
Okay.
off the beaten path.
And those are where you get some of the really, really great shots because it's off the path. You know,
Yeah.
people like to stay
Yeah.
on the path.
Yeah.
What's your favorite backpack or your favorite camera bag?
I don't have a favorite one, but I have a Shimoto. My Shimoto bag, I like that one. This is the longest one I've had so far. 2 years. Before that, I would just get a bag and then sell it. Get a bag, then sell it, or get a bag and give it away. I've had Amazon basics all the way up to like some of the more professional ones, and they just never seem to fit. There's either too much room or not enough room. And the Shimoto's worked out pretty well.
Mhm.
And if I have to do a long hike, sometimes I'll just take my tripod camera and put the 2 lenses in my pocket and I'm gone. I just leave the bag in the car.
For a long hike?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll have pants with cargo pants with big pockets, so it can fit most of the things that I need. And I don't have that much stuff. I have 3 lenses and a camera body. That's it. The filters I can clip on me.
What brand filters do you use?
I don't even need the things anymore. Right now, currently
Nisi.
Nisi brand. Yep.
Okay.
And
Any particular reason why Nisi?
no, they just work. They work good, and they last. They don't have a lot of color cast to the image, so there's not a lot of work I need to do afterwards. I don't know, I just like them.
Right.
Yeah,
Favorite tripod? Okay.
Right now, I've got a Leo photo tripod. That's pretty decent, and I've got a. Oh yeah, it's decent. It's a decent one. It's actually the best one I've had so far.
Okay.
And I have an Enduro one. I also have very good tripod, but that's an aluminum one. It's heavy. That's my backup one. And then I've had some other tripods that
ended up with the bags. Sold this one.
Sold that one. Got rid of that one. Some of them just didn't make it because even though, I mean, Long Island Sound is the sound, it's still salt water. It just eats through everything. And if you don't maintain it regularly, next thing you know, that the tripod's not working anymore. If you have to, and some of them you can't find parts for. It's like, they've gone out, we've got parts for the new one, but not the old one.
Right. So yeah, that's frustrating.
But right now, the Leo photo one it's a good one.
Okay.
Yep.
With the environment or the climate that you're in, and you were mentioning 18 degrees on some days.
Oh yeah.
Woo! What is your favorite jacket to keep you warm?
If we get way below zero, I don't know what jacket it is, but I know it's an Arctic one. It's very warm. Okay. But if it's not that cold, like 18 degrees, whatever, I don't have a jacket. I just have. Wait
a minute, did you say if it's not that cold, like 18 degrees?
Yeah. That's what I call brisk.
All right.
When we get below zero, I have to put on the big heavy coat. But if it's like 18, 20, 25, I don't have a jacket on. I just have multiple layers on, and then a sweatshirt on top of that. I'm good. I'm more concerned with my hands. My hands are susceptible to getting colder. I don't know why. I think I got near frostbite when I was younger on my hands, and so they get cold quick. So I have to make sure I'm wearing some sort of mittens.
Yeah, 18
Yeah.
degrees, not that cold. Favorite hiking boots?
Yeah. I don't know if they're my favorite. They're my only ones. Not, but they're not my only ones. I have a pair of trail runners. I'm not sure what they are, but my boots. I got a pair of Caterpillar boots.
Okay.
They're steel-toed and
Mm-hmm.
they're comfortable and they stay warm and they're waterproof. And I've had them for 5 years, and so far
So
they're
you
still
can
working.
step in the water and shallow water and you're good, huh?
I'm good.
Didn't
I
think
am
about
good.
Caterpillar. Okay.
I
Yeah, they're
I
so
don't.
weatherproof, but yeah.
Yeah, they were five years ago, maybe even longer. I got those. Actually, it was longer than that. They're almost 7, 8 years old. And they still work.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Caterpillar ones.
yeah. I don't know if they still make them.
There we go. They're 7 years old. They discontinued that model.
Probably. Oh,
Well, give them the,
I also keep my I got little crampons that I have with me all the time. You have
the spikes.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have those around here because the rocks that are here on the water, and they have that green algae on them. That's worse than ice. And I'm not about the, I've hurt myself already last year enough.
You slipped on the rocks?
No, this was something different. But I didn't. I'm not going out because I slipped and fell and broke my butt behind because I was on a slippery rock. That's not going to happen. But last year, I missed almost all of fall photography because the end of July, my right calf, I tore that. Yeah, I was at the beach, and usually, I'm walking around, I'm hiking around for a long time before I find something. This one I just got right out and I started climbing on the rocks on the beach. Probably because I wasn't warmed up or whatever. I still think I'm 24, but my body knows what age I am. So I lifted myself up on the rock, and there was a guy down there, and I could have sworn he threw a rock at me because it felt like it hit. It popped, but I thought somebody threw something at me. I was getting ready to say,
you would have been like, what did I do? What did I do?
But he was minding his own business. I didn't know what was going on, and I took a step and I couldn't walk. And that's when I realized I pulled my muscle in my calf. So I went.
But did you get the shot? Did you get the image? Did you get what you were? Did you achieve your mission?
I did not achieve the mission. I hadn't even started yet. I was done before I started. And so I got home, drove myself home. The wife is like, "How did you get home?" I said, "Well, the car almost drives itself. You just put it on cruise control and go home."
Oh no.
And I had to do physical therapy for about 8 weeks to get all the scar tissue out of there. And then once that was done, I think I was good for about 2 weeks. And then I'm out scouting the location, scrambling up rocks, tripped on a tree root, and then the same leg, it rolled and then hit a rock. And then I was like, "Oh no, this seems more serious than a sprained ankle."
And you still didn't get the shot.
And no, I didn't get the shot that day either. I took myself out again. Self-sabotage. That one wound up being I broke my foot, 5th metatarsal break. Doctor looked at it, he said, "Well, it's a clean break. It's in a good spot. No surgery, but you're gonna have to be in a boot for 6 weeks. And then we'll see how how it goes from there. So I was in the booth from all the way from October to December, or sorry, not October, November, and then mid-December I got out of the booth. And I was like, yeah, that was a rough time, end of the year.
Oh my. So you're okay now?
Oh, I'm okay now.
You're not planning on doing any more self-sabotaging, are you?
No. The doctor was like, no more running in the woods for you while you're in the booth. And I still went out and took pictures in the woods. I was just very careful.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We're good now. We're good. We're healed up.
Keep it that way.
We're healed up. I've been given the go ahead. I can run again. Even though I wasn't doing much running, but he said I can run if you want. I was like, yeah, if I want.
Like, no, I ain't trying to do all that. Wow. Ooh, well, I'm glad that you're much better, and a lot more cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you carry like a device? Was it the Garmin InReach or something? So, you know, you can call the wife and say, I did it again. Can you come get me?
No, I should though. I should get one of those.
Yeah. That might be a good idea.
That might be a good idea. I'll have to put that on my checklist. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. I'll write that one down.
But yeah, that Garmin InReach, you know, in case you need to call the wife and you don't have a good cell phone signal, you know, and she'll probably cool down by the time she gets to you. So, like, he did it again. I want to ask you, given your experience and the awesome images that you have, for our viewers that are just getting into landscape and nature photography, what advice do you have for them?
Landscape photography or photography in general?
Let's go with photography in general.
Learn your camera. Just learn your camera, because when the time comes when you have to take a quick shot and you don't have much time and you're not sure, you don't want to be fiddling around with settings, because then you'll miss the moment. If you know your camera, you'll know where to set it right away. That won't be the thing that'll stop you from getting the photograph. Something else might, but it won't be because you don't know your camera.
Know your camera. You said something else might get you. I like how you tossed that in. Well, with
I would say probably just shoot everything. Shoot everything until you find that thing that sparks that thing in your heart. You know, the thing that makes it special while you're there, and then shoot that. And only shoot that. No.
See. Well, thank you for that. And before we wrap this up, I want to lastly ask you, what does it mean to you to see more people of color in the landscape and nature genre, photography genre?
It means a lot. It means a lot because I literally, everybody that I've seen on here, they've all said that I thought I was the only one that was doing it. And it's good that this is an outlet for other photographers, other Black photographers, people of color, to see that, hey, I can do that. I can go out in the woods, don't have to be scared. I can go to all these fantastic locations and I can take that shot instead of looking at somebody else's shot. And I think you guys are doing great work bringing everybody together like this, and appreciate that. More power to you. But it's I don't know, it's good. In one way it's bad though.
Why?
Sometimes it's good to be a unicorn.
And you like, I don't want y'all in the way of my shot. Don't come over here with your 100 to 400 zoom lens. Listen to that.
No, but seriously, it's good to know that I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Well, before we wrap this up, let people know how can they find you in your social media handles or website. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Website is simulated.com with 2 M's, like my name. And then on Instagram, I'm simulated. And I think yeah, you can get to my other site from my website. So those are 2 main ones.
Okay.
Those are good. Maybe a YouTube, maybe someday, maybe this year. Maybe.
All right. Well, if you want to send some videos our way so we can put on our channel, we'll take them. We've been sharing that with everybody. Don't just want to see our interviews and stuff. There's more.
I have that thing though that some photographers have where, you know, they'd rather be behind the camera than in front of the camera. So
that's why people think that there's only unicorns. Like, we don't see any of us because we're trying to get y'all in front of the camera.
yeah.
Whew, our work is just so cut out for us. What am I going to say? We want to thank everyone for watching our video with Simmie Reagor. We will have his information in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We'll have more interviews and other fantastic videos coming this year and sooner than later. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. You guys know the routine. You know, share, 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 and share, and share. It helps the algorithm on the YouTube channel. So with that being said, we want to again thank Simmie. Yay, Simmie!
Thank you, Angela.
Although he shoots Nikon, but you know, it's okay. We want to thank you, Simmie, for, you know, taking the time for us to get to know you and for our viewers to also get to know you. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close this out.